Hello everybody, welcome to online class. In today's class, we'll discuss regarding uh, the different money market instruments which are traded in the money market. Okay. Before that, we'll understand that money market is involved in what? Buying and selling of short-term instruments. It is through what? These instruments, the players or the participants borrow and lend money in the money market. So, there are various instruments available in the money market which we'll understand one by one. Okay. And these instruments are issued for short period of time. These are interest bearing securities, and these instruments may include the features, or these may be explained with the help of the features also. Okay, so let's discuss these instruments one by one. The first one is call and short notice money. See, these are short term loans. Their maturity varies between 1 day to 14 days. If money is borrowed or lent for a day, it is called as call money or overnight money. When money is borrowed or lent for more than a day and up to 14 days, it is called as short notice money. Surplus funds of the commercial banks and other institutions are usually given as a call money. So, banks are the borrowers as well as the lenders for the call money. Banks borrow call funds for a short period to meet the cash reserve ratio requirements. So, banks repay the call fund back once the requirements have been met. The interest rate paid on call loans is called as what? Call rate. It is highly variable. It varies from day to day, hour to hour, and sometimes even minute to minute. Okay, so what are the features of the call and short notice money? The first thing is they are highly liquid. They are highly liquid because the investor can sell the call money at any time, and he can call it back at any time, and he can convert it into cash. Then the interest is highly volatile, that is, it is very variable. It varies from day to day, hour to hour, sometimes even minute to minute. Then these are repayable on demand. Then money is borrowed or lent for a period, very short period. Then then there is no collateral security demanded against these loans. This means they are unsecured, and the risk involved is very high in the call and the short notice money. The next comes is commercial bills. When goods are sold on credit, the seller draws a bill of exchange on the buyer for the amount due. So the buyer accepts it immediately. This means he agrees to pay the amount mentioned therein after a certain specified date. After accepting the bill, the buyer returns it to the seller. This bill is called trade bill. The seller may either retain the bill till maturity or due date, or get it discounted from some banker and get immediate cash. When trade bills are accepted by commercial banks, they are called commercial bills. The bank discounts this bill by deducting a certain amount, that is called as a discount, and balance is paid to the buyer. A bill of exchange contains a written order for the creditor to the debtor, that is from the seller to the buyer, to pay a certain sum to a certain person after a certain period. Okay, so according to Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, a bill of exchange is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. Okay, then these commercial bills are classified into 4 types. The first one is demand bill, and it is also known as the time bills. Demand bill is a payable on demand. It is payable immediately on a presentation or at a site to the drawing. Demand bill is also known as site bill, time bill. Then this bill is payable at a specified future date. The next type of commercial bill is clean bills, which is also known as documentary bills. When bills have to be accompanied by documents of title to goods such as railway receipts, bill of landing, the bills are called as documentary bills. When bills are drawn without accompanying any document, they are called clean bills. In such case, documents will be directly sent to the drawee. Next is inland and foreign bills. Inland bills are bills drawn upon a person resident in India and are payable in India. Foreign bills are bills drawn outside India and they may be payable either in India or outside India. Next comes is accommodation bills and supply bills. See, in case of accommodation bills, two parties draws bills on each other purely for the purpose of mutual financial accommodation. These bills are then discounted with the bankers and the proceeds are shared among themselves. On the due dates, the parties make payment to the bank. Accommodation bills are also known as wind bills or kite bills. Supply bills are those which are drawn by the suppliers or contractors on the government departments for the goods supplied to them. These bills are not considered as negotiable instruments. Okay. Next money market instrument is treasury bills, which is important. Okay. Treasury bills are short-term instruments issued by RBI on behalf of government. These are short-term credit instruments for a period ranging from 91 to 364. These are negotiable instruments, hence these are freely transferable. These are issued at a discount. These are repaid at par on maturity. These are considered as a safe investment. Thus, treasury bills are credit instruments used by the government to raise what? Short-term funds to meet the budgetary deficit. Treasury bills are popularly called as T-bills. The difference between the amount paid by the tenderer at the time of purchase, which is less than the face value, and the amount received on maturity represents the interest amount on T-bills and is also known as discount. Okay. Then these T-bills are classified into two types. One is ordinary or regular T-bills, another one is ad hoc T-bills. Ordinary T-bills are issued to the public, banks and the other institutions to raise money for meeting the short-term financial needs of the government. These are freely marketable and these can be bought and sold at any time. Next is ad hoc T-bills. These are issued in favor of the RBI only. They are not sold through tender or auction. They are purchased by the RBI on tap. The RBI is authorized to issue currency notes against these. On the basis of periodicity, T-bills are classified into four types. That is 91-day T-bills, 14-day T-bills, 182 T-bills and the 364-day T-bills. Okay. Next instrument, money market instrument is certificate of deposits. Okay. With a view to give investors greater flexibility in the development of their short-term surplus funds, RBI permitted banks to issue certificate of deposit. Certificate of deposits were introduced in the year 1989. So, certificate of deposit is a certificate in the form of promissory note issued by the banks against the short-term deposits of companies and institutions received by the bank. Simply stated that it is a time deposit of specific maturity and is easily transferable. It is a document of title to a time deposit. It is issued as a bearer instrument and is negotiable in the market. It is payable on a fixed date. It has a maturity period ranging from the 3 to 12 months. It is issued at a discount rate varying between 13% to 18%. The discount rate is determined by the issuing bank and the market. Okay. Then next comes is commercial papers. See, commercial papers was introduced in the market in the year 1989 or the 1990. It is a finance paper like treasury bill. It is an unsecured negotiable promissory note. It has a fixed maturity period ranging from 3 to 6 months. So it is generally issued by leading nationally reputed credit-worthy and highly rated corporations. It is quite safe and highly liquid. So it is issued in bearer form and on discount. It is also known as industrial paper or corporate paper. Okay. And this can be issued in multiple of rupees 5 lakhs subject to the minimum issue size of rupees 50 lakhs. So therefore, commercial papers or commercial paper is an unsecured short-term promissory note issued by leading credit-worthy and highly rated corporates to meet their working capital requirements. In short, we can say that commercial paper is a short-term unsecured promissory note issued by financial strong companies. Okay. The next comes is repurchase agreements. See, repo is basically a contract entered by two parties. Parties includes RBI, a bank or NBFC. In this contract, a holder of government securities sells the security to a lender and agrees to repurchase them at an agreed future date at an agreed price. So at the end of the period, the borrower repurchases the securities at the predetermined price. The difference between the purchase price and the original price is the cost for the borrower. This cost of borrowing is called repo rate. A transaction is called a repo when viewed from the perspective of the seller of the securities and reverse when described from the point of view of the suppliers of the funds. So thus, whether a given agreement is termed repo or reverse repo depends largely on which party initiated the transaction. Thus, repo is a transaction in which a participant acquires immediate funds by selling securities and simultaneously agrees to repurchase the same or similar securities after a specified period at a specified price. It is also called as ready forward contract. Next is money market mutual funds. Money market mutual funds mobilize money from the general public. The money collected will be invested in money market instruments. The investors get a higher return. They are more liquid as compared to other investment alternatives. So the MMFs were originated in the US in 1972. In India, the first money market mutual funds was set up by Kothari Pioneer in 1997, but this did not succeed. Okay. Lastly, American depository receipts and the global depository receipts. American depository receipts are instruments in the nature of depository receipt and certificate. These instruments are negotiable and represents publicly traded local currency equity shares issued by non-American company. For example, an NRI can invest in that is Indian companies' shares without bothering dollar conversion and other exchange formalities. If the facility is extended globally, these instruments are called global depository receipts. American depository receipts are listed in American stock exchanges and global depository receipts are listed in other than American stock exchanges, say London, then Tokyo and others. Okay, these are what the money market instruments. If you have any doubt, please come up with your doubt so that we can clear it. Thank you.